Are we waiting for more people to sign up or?
Yes, please. More people are joining.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. In the meantime, while we're waiting for others to join, you could just please just drop your location, your name in the comment section. Just tell us your name and where you're joining from.
Tower. Oh dear.
Sorry, did someone call me? All right. In case you're still here, if you're just joining, kindly introduce yourself and tell us where you're joining in while we're waiting for a few more people before we get started. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Let's keep them coming. Let's keep it coming. So you could also drop your expectation from this training. You could just type one or two things that you expect to have learned by the end of this training session. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. My name is Adefilo Toba, and it's such a great privilege to be here today. Thank you all so much for joining us. And I believe that we're in for a very, very good time today. So wherever you're joining from, I want to say welcome to every one of you. As we know, knowledge is very, very vital, and it's something that we should all crave, we should all, long for. So this is why we have put together this training so that it can empower us to have access to more opportunities that can help us, scale up in what we do. So if you have a trusted body, if you have somebody in the community that are close to your community groups, please do well to drop a reminder for them again that you have started. We wouldn't want bulk of the things that will be said to be in their absence. So we'll be getting started really soon. We'd just like to give a few more persons the opportunity to join. So if you still have an expectation, please feel free to drop it. You could just type it in the comment section and we'll all be able to read it. So while we're waiting for more people to join and while we're expecting you to drop your expectations, I would like to introduce our speakers. I'd like to introduce our speakers. And the first person I'm going to be introducing is Chime Chinonso. So Chime Chinonso Simon is an accomplished IT professional with over 9 years of experience providing technical support, training, and consulting services. He holds a BSc in microbiology from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, an MBA from Learn to Live Business School, UK, and is currently pursuing an MPH from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Chime's expertise spans IT help desk support, software troubleshooting, database management, and facilitating digital skills training. He started his career at the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, where from 2013 to 2017, he provided IT support, administered university websites and email systems, digitized academic records, and facilitated IT skills training. Currently, Chime serves as an ICT 4D officer for the Global Fund Malaria Project at Catholic Relief Services. He was also the founder of Chimex Vinlex Technologies, an IT services company based in Enugu, Nigeria. Then our second speaker is Tolu Olushino, and she has built a career as a climate specialist with professional experience across key sectors of development. She is currently working with the World Bank Group, where she is advancing development targets around Paris alignment and climate finance. She also found a lot of fulfillment during a year of field missions to fragile, conflict and violence-affected countries in sub-Saharan Africa, where she developed and implemented climate resilience plans for vulnerable populations. She holds a master's degree from Imperial College in the United Kingdom. Tolu is a young leader, holding leadership roles with various networks, including the World Bank Group Youth Summit, IF6 Next Gen Advisory Council, WBG Women's Network, Sosti Vibes, and more. Through these initiatives, she gets to create a platform for engaging discussions and drive impact on key issues faced by young people, women, and vulnerable groups. Tolu was born and grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. She speaks English and French fluently and is currently learning to speak Arabic. Her interests include traveling, gardening, and in her spare time, learning new languages. So ladies and gentlemen, please, if your hands are not busy, I'd like you to give a round of applause. Let's drop those emojis as we welcome and acknowledge our speakers for this evening. So you can unmute your mic, you can clap, you can drop an emoji. Yes, I can see that. I can see that. Thank you very much. So we're going to be having sorry, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to be having Chime Chinonso first, and then afterwards we're going to have Tolu Olusegun. So please, if you have any questions while the presentation is going on, please do well to note them. And after the presentation, we're going to give room for questions, and then before we move on to the next session. So thank you very much, everyone, and you're welcome, Mr. Chime. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll start up immediately. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I'm very grateful to the leadership of this organization. I'm giving just 25 minutes, so I'll need to maximize all I'll do in 25 minutes. So this evening we'll be talking about leveraging opportunities in the development sector. My name remains Chimachino, so Simon, and you can call me Uncle Chimex. And I really hope to connect with all of us after this session. We'll have 10 minutes for question and answer after the whole presentation. So let's start. What is international development sector about? Okay, before I start this course, I just want to share a little story of mine. Maybe that will inspire us to get into this class. When I first started in the development sector, I was invited for a training in Abuja then, all the way from Enugu. So in the hotel where I was lodged, when I entered, I wasn't used to luxurious hotels like that. So when I entered the toilet, I saw 2 towels on the floor. So I felt that this towel was too neat to be on the floor. So I saw one towel and then I saw another one lying on the floor. So in my mind, I said this one on the floor should be for bathing in the night and the other one to bath in the morning. Meanwhile, that towel was actually meant for me to clean my feet after taking my bath. So, and I used that towel to clean my body that night. It was so embarrassing when I learned the truth about that situation. But that was one of the few things that the development sector gave me exposure into a lot of things about life that I never knew before. Looking at where I came from the government sector, from a civil service sector before joining the international development sector. So I really felt embarrassed that day, and it's part of the exposure that I still talk about till tomorrow. So what is international development sector about? I'm going to speak the grammar that is there, and I'll still break it down for you. So the international development sector refers to the collective efforts and organizations aimed at promoting sustainable economic, social, and political development in developing countries or regions around the world. So all these organizations that are into sustainability, making sure that people who are hungry get food, making sure that the world, in fact, the development sector is about making the world a better place, any way to make the world a better place. And in simple terms, this is what we refer to as NGOs. These organizations who are involved in this international development sectors are what we refer to as NGOs. And I listed some of the international NGOs. We also have the ones that are indigenous. NGOs who are actually doing well. So the international NGOs are what we call INGOs. We call them INGOs. The international one, like you must have heard of World Health Organization, you must have heard of Save the Children, you must have heard of Mercy Corps, you must have heard of Palladium, and you might not have heard of any of them. Some people, the only one they know about is just World Health Organization. But there are thousands and thousands of organizations who are into this development work. There are many of them. They are uncountable. And I'll be talking with the Nigerian experience and talking from Nigerian experience so that a lot of us who are in Nigeria can learn more how to be part of these organizations. So when you tell someone, I want to work in a WHO, they'll be like, wow, to get job there will be very difficult or it will be very hard to say. But then how do we get opportunities into all these things? That's what we are going to be talking about today. So one thing I can tell anybody is that the development sector is one of the sectors where everything about labor is well defined, no discriminations. It's a beautiful place to work in, very, very beautiful place to work in. And I'll be speaking from practical experience. So let's get into getting opportunities in the international development organizations. How do we get opportunities into these sectors? One of them is to have the right mindset. You see, everything you see physically starts from the mind. Any creation you see physically started from the mind. If you know something in your mind, there's any possibility that it will happen physically. And why am I saying this? A lot of people have the mindset that they can never work in international organizations. It's the mindset. And because they have that mindset, they will never get it. A lot of people have the mindset that they cannot get certain type of jobs. And because they have that mindset, they will never get that job. So what you nurture in your mind or what you create in your mind has a way of affecting your total well-being or how you get opportunities. So what am I talking about this right mindset is that I used to be there before. I used to be that, I cannot get this position, no need of applying. I've seen people who I will send job links to that I know they can do. They'll be like, I don't think I can do this because I feel I can't do it. Just like that, they feel they can't do it. And that's a very wrong mindset. And that mindset also affects them in money. Some people have the mindset they cannot be rich, and that's why they are poor. Some people have the mindset they cannot make it in life, and that's why they can never make it in life. And some people have the mindset that they can never get it legitimately into a working system. And speaking again from the Nigerian sector, every year we turn out lots and lots of graduates. Every year we turn out lots of graduates. So if you have 10,000 people who graduated, also know that every quarter of the year they are releasing people from NYSC who is also joining this labor market. What does this say? Every year is becoming more competitive. Everywhere is becoming more competitive. It's so competitive that having MSc in Nigeria is like having WAEC. Before also let me say I have master's degree, be like, wow. But these days it's common to have master's degree. That I think that one is no longer enough. If you can get as much as you can, get to PhD, just go ahead and get. So having the right mindset is very, very, very important. So that is the first step, not just on getting opportunities in the development sector, but everything about life entirely. Getting into the right relationship, getting wealth, just that positive mindset. You have to be positive. You have to be positive about anything you're doing. Then the second one is be informed. Be informed. The information you know that other people don't know is what keeps you ahead of them. So being informed is something that you have to be deliberate about. Being informed about what's happening in your environment, being informed, if you want to succeed in the development sector, international development sector, you need to be involved, you need to be informed. How does it work? What do I need to know? What do I need to know? How do I package my CV? How do I get experience? How do I get volunteering experience? How do I get the right information to get what I want? Over time, before I entered the development sector, I used to have this mindset that I cannot be there. Till a friend of mine came to me. I'm forever grateful to that friend of mine. His name is Chigozie. He works in one of the international organizations now. But when he told me this, he was an undergraduate in the university. That's why you should not underrate anybody. So this my friend was an undergraduate in the university. He was telling me who have graduated about opportunities in the development sector. I listened to him. What am I trying to say? Information can come from anywhere. Can even come from your gate man. It can come from anywhere. It can come from your junior. It can come from your younger ones. It can come from the people you've worked before in the past. So information can come from anywhere. So this my guy told me that he has a friend of his who went. This was happening in 2016. He goes to work and he works for just 2 weeks and come back and he's paid like 250,000 then, and. That was like, wow, is that possible in Nigeria? Because I was really surprised that people could actually earn that kind of money there. But it was not about the money that moved me, because I've already been volunteering in organizations before in local CSOs and NGOs in Nigeria that my friends own and all that. So I needed to see value where I'm working. So I picked interest and started with that information he gave me. I picked interest and started researching. So and that was what helped me to enter the sector. Those research that I was able to do then, as far back as 2016. And funny enough, he also had the same dream. So when he left the university, that my friend, he has worked in different organizations. In fact, when he's working now, as the economic situation in Nigeria started changing, they changed the salary from naira to dollar. Just like that. So whatever they pay them is the dollar equivalent of what they're supposed to pay. And it's fulfilling to being paid well. So being informed is very, very important. Being informed is very, very important. No information is a joke. Just like this seminar that you're in now, just like this webinar that you're in now, it's for you to be informed about how these things work, how to work in this sector. And the good thing about this sector is that you are providing solution to people, you're helping beneficiaries, you're helping people to live better lives. So you are fulfilled doing it aside what you're paid. You are fulfilled doing it. So where can I find these opportunities in international development? I would love you to take this part very, very serious. I want you to take it very, very serious. So there is, if you're in Nigeria and hoping to get into an NGO job in Nigeria or an international development job in Nigeria, the first website I mentioned here is ngojobsite.com. So if you want to move into this sector, on this website, you need to be checking it every day. And one thing about the sector is that once you enter, it's easy to grow. It's easy to move from one organization to another. And it's a place where you're not, some people can't even stay for long. Some people can stay in one organization 2 years before you know it, they're in another organization. Before you know it, they're in another organization. You see people being in 4 organizations in 6 years. Why? Because anywhere they add value, use that value, apply in another place. So it's not a place where you just come and stay in one place for a very long time. No, you move. So NGO job site is one of them. The second one is Web. We will give opportunities to both international organizations, remote organization. You can sort it down to Nigeria, you can sort it down to Africa. The links are there. You can sort it down to Africa, you can sort it to Nigeria and all that and all that. Then I've talked about NGO job sites. I've talked about League Web. The next one is Hot Nigeria Jobs. I discovered recently that most organizations, if they want to advertise any opportunity they have, they go and post it directly on Hot Nigerian Jobs. That's for Nigerian-based INGO and NGO vacancies. So if you go there, they publish paid to, and you can streamline your search into industry, and under industry you click on NGOs, you see every opportunity that are in NGO that are NGO related. Then the next one is LinkedIn. You see, LinkedIn is very powerful. Very, 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 very powerful. Where LinkedIn is very powerful is I want to use this opportunity to inform everyone there that if you're not serious with your LinkedIn, you need to go back and repackage your LinkedIn very, very well. Because LinkedIn is the place for professional networking. It helps you to to meet similar people in your industry. Like I connect with a lot of people in my industry where I am, that if there is a vacancy in their organization, they post it on their timeline. And because I scroll through my timeline daily, if I see those opportunities, sometimes you don't see such opportunities in any of the job portals. And that's how you can apply for such jobs. So I want to also point that some organizations, it's not all their vacancies that they put in the public job portals. So some of them, it can be from your friend working there who can share it on their timeline. And that's why LinkedIn is very, very important. And don't limit yourself to Nigeria. You can even work in Africa. My older brother just finished an interview some weeks ago in one of the countries in Africa. They gave him an offer and we had to debate over it and all that. So it's beyond Nigeria. And we have sites like NGO Jobs in Africa where you can get opportunities in other development jobs that are within Africa. Like I said, the big name for this is international development job, but the simple way for me to understand it is NGO jobs, non-governmental organization jobs. Then another one is Opportunity Desk. Opportunity Desk is owned by a Nigerian based here in Mizo, and she done so well with that opportunity desk. And opportunity desk don't just give you opportunity to jobs, it gives you opportunity to apply for fellowships, for internship, especially if you're a startup or you've done a lot of volunteering with local NGOs in Nigeria. Opportunity Desk will give you that opportunity to do that. Then we have target organization job portals. Like if there's any organization that I have particular interest in, what I'll do to that organization is to go to their job portals. Okay, and when you go to those job portals, you can see a lot of vacancies that are not even published. Because if you go to some of these Nigerian websites I shared here, they only focus in opportunities that are in Nigeria. But these other websites can give you, or if you go to the organization you want, targeted organization job portals, you see vacancies that you can do within the outside Nigeria. And some of those vacancies, once you get them, you're automatically an expatriate. And because of COVID, the remote work space has become something that is growing bigger and bigger in the development sector. So many of these jobs are remote too, which is something that is so beautiful. I know you get a remote job in the development sector, you make sure your work desk, alternative power supply, your internet, everything is available. So it's so beautiful, so beautiful. It's so beautiful to get remote jobs. So there are many other websites, but these are some of the key ones. I want to still stress on LinkedIn. LinkedIn have what we call groups. And if you're interested in any sector, like I'm in the ICT for this sector, ICT for this information and communication technology for development. So all the groups that are related to ICT for the on LinkedIn, I belong to every single one of them. There they share lessons, share opportunities. Like recently, they just finished a conference on ICT for the in Ghana. I got to learn about everything that happened there. So there are lots and lots of opportunities, trust me, but they are not easy. I won't lie. I'm not even here to hide that it's easy to get. So how do you apply for the right jobs? Applying for the right jobs. How do we apply for the right job? What are the do's and don'ts in applying for NGO jobs? That's what we're going to be talking about now. Number one, follow the instruction for the job position. Any opportunity you see, there are instructions that are related to that job. So let me give you an example. There's an opportunity. I was part of the shortlisting recently, and the job said submit your CV in MS Word. It was specific. Submit your CV in MS Word. And I know if people don't just read instructions about any position they want to apply, they just go straight and just apply like that. They don't read, they just go how to apply, they just click there and start applying. The instructions said apply with MS Word, not PDF. And some people went and applied with PDF, and that's automatic disqualification. automatic disqualification. And some job would go straight and tell you to use a particular ID as the job title on our email, like subject title, let's say, and pick a code and tell you to use that code. And some people will not use that code, and that is how they are disqualified. And really, the funny thing, some of these people who fill these instructions, they are actually qualified for the position. They have the right skills for the position, but the problem is that they did not obey instruction. Then another thing is have a well-formatted CV and cover letter. So some people, the first experience is Time New Romance. The second experience is Calibri fonts. Another experience is not well formatted. The CV is scattered. Some people, they forget that the font on their laptop is not the font in other people's laptop. And that's why I recommend if you are submitting CV in things like MS Word, use a type of font that is in everybody's systems, like Times New Romance. Now, have a well formatted CV and cover letter. Some people, they use one CV for thousands and thousands of applications, and that is why they don't get the right job. You need to cool down. See, applying for these opportunities is like a job on its own, and you're never satisfied. Like even where I am, I'm still applying. I applied for 5 years today. I'll still apply before today end. It's a constant thing because you're not even satisfied. You have to keep growing. So ensure that your CV is aligned to the job description. It's very, very important. And ensure don't just submit or don't just apply to any job. There are jobs you see. You know that this job is not for you, or your CV does not align. But some of them you still have to try, because trial and error still works in some of those opportunities. So a lot of people's CV are scattered. And what is scattered is that some of these people, they used to have phone before they have laptop. So they do these CVs on their phones and they think it is fine. But when you open some of these CVs on laptop, you see that they are very scattered. Very, very scattered. So avoid using phone for job application. If you want to be serious about job application, use a laptop. As a beginner, even if you don't have a laptop, you can start with phone, but make sure you must have worked on laptop and transfer to your phone. Then I don't advise you to use a phone when applying for jobs. Then another thing is, do not lie or forge any position on your CV. If you notice very well, I wrote it like 4 times. Don't lie or forge any position on your CV. Some of the people you are applying for, they verify everything. They verify. And in the ones I've caught people that have lied several times, and that's how they were disqualified, because they lie on their CV just to get a job. Do not lie on your CV. Do not lie on your CV. I said it like 4 times on this point. Do not lie on your CV. Do not say what you have not done. Make sure that what you've written is what you can defend. Once you can defend it and defend it well, you're good to go. So thanks against me. I'm going to be rushing now, but I have to, in the next 5 minutes for us to take questions. So before I go into the next slide, I've talked about having CV that have related keywords related to the position is very, very important. And we have some websites like that do CV scan. So what those websites do, we call it job scan, is that you paste your CV and paste the job description. It helps you to ensure that the keywords for that job description are in your CV. And sometimes some of them help you to align it with the words that will make them to match. So there are sites like that on the internet. But we need to be careful because a lot of these people steal data. So there are myths about opportunities in the development sector, lots of myths. There are myths in the sector, and we're going to be discussing some of those myths. So I'm going to talk about some of those myths that exist in the development sector. Okay, one of those myths is people say you must know somebody before getting an opportunity in the development sector. We're in a country where the truth about Nigeria is that if you want to get work in some organizations in Nigeria, sometimes or most times, you need to know somebody in the organization to get it, especially in government-related organizations. But I can tell you that in the development sector, you don't need to know anybody, especially in INGOs, that's international NGOs. You don't need to know anybody to get an opportunity there. If nobody is a witness, I am a witness. I didn't know anybody. I just got the information, researched, and took it serious. And that was how I was able to enter the system. So you must not know anybody. You mustn't know anybody. And because you don't know anybody, that's why you need to even take it serious, because that one is more guaranteed than the job opportunities where you must know somebody. Then there's another mark that you must have masters or PhD before getting an opportunity in the development sector. That's a terrible lie. There are some positions that you don't even need just secondary school certificates to get positions into. Let me give you one of those opportunities. Is driver position. Driver position in the development sector, they don't need you to even be a graduate. And the funny thing is that when you look at those people, you call them common drivers. They are not common. What some of them earn is more than what some lecturers earn in the universities, in all honesty. Like recently, there's a vacancy for roster drivers in WHO in Nigeria in almost about 8 or 9 states in Nigeria. And that's a very good opportunity. Even a graduate can even maximize it and use the opportunity to enter the sector. So you mustn't have masters or PhD before getting an opportunity in the development sector. Then some people say you must be a medical doctor before getting an opportunity in the development sector. That's the wrong information. In as much as in development sectors that are related to health, doctors have more advantages of getting position, but you must not be a doctor. I heard of an organization recently where in a position they needed a pharmacist. For that position, a pharmacist or a medical doctor. So they advertised and they didn't find anybody. They advertised the second time, they didn't find anybody. The person they eventually took for that position studied chemistry. So that's why you should not limit yourself. So, and some people have this mind that you must apply to opportunities related to your first degree in school. Now, that's a lie. It mustn't be related to your first degree in the university. So if you have an experience on something, you're qualified to apply for that opportunity when it comes in. For instance, I studied microbiology, but I'm currently doing IT to it in the development sector. So it doesn't have anything to do. The only good thing about the microbiology I studied in school is that it now gave me the opportunity to now do masters in public health. And why am I doing it? So that I can be able to blend between IT and the course I studied. I can do well as a program manager and I can do well as an IT person. And having both is a blended skill. That you read anything. Even I've seen people who are program managers today, what they read in the university is Igbo linguistic. But today they are program managers. So it's not about what you study in your first degree. So I want to talk about the importance of networking and getting opportunities in the development sector. I'm almost rounding up, please, so that we can move to the questions. I'm almost rounding up. So networking is very, very important. Your network is your net worth. So when you know people who are in the system already and they know your skill, if they have opportunities in the organization, they can send it directly to you even before it goes public. And that's the importance of networking. Another importance of networking is that because they are in the system, they can give you tips, they can help you review your CV and make sure it's right before getting into the system. So your network is your net worth. Have a very good network of friends. You can do that on LinkedIn. You can do that on LinkedIn. You can do that on social media. Anywhere, just have a network of people related to your goals. Don't have foolish people as friends. Don't have people who kill your goals as friends. There are people that you tell them you want to apply to this sector. They'll tell you to never work. And you don't need such people in your life. They are negative vibes. And that's why I first talked about mindset, because if you have positive mindset, you can achieve anything you want to achieve. Then, the last thing I want to tell you is that you need to normalize rejections when looking for opportunity in the development sector. Okay, so if you have any questions, drop it in the chat box so that after the second speaker we'll be able to take care of the questions. So another thing I want to talk about is normalizing rejections when looking for opportunities in the development sector. So get ready for rejections. It is very, very very normal in this space. There's a lot of rejection. So if you're starting, they are going to reject you plenty times, but it's a place where you don't give up in applying. You don't give up in applying. rejections can come in many ways. And sometimes you're very qualified and they'll still disqualify you. If you go into why people are rejected, it's another session for another day. So we're not going to that, but it's a place where if you want to get in, you don't give up. You don't give up. You apply as much as you can get. You apply as much as possible. You do a lot of interviews. And interviews in this place is another thing altogether. It's another session for another day. So please normalize rejections. Never give up. Never give up. That's one of my mantra. I don't give up. Any opportunity I want to get, I don't give up. If I show you the rejections mails I've gotten in my life, there are plenty. There are plenty. There are so plenty that when I wake up, I see them, I just smile. It cannot depress me again because I've seen a lot of them. There was a day I got 5 at a go. 5 at a go, like it was a well-served breakfast. But then it doesn't stop us. You keep moving and keep applying. So, what are the timelines for getting an opportunity in the development sector? The education stage is a case where you can be volunteering, and the stage where you are applying for these opportunities, this stage 2, is also where you can be volunteering. Don't be at ease in Zion. That's what my pastor used to tell me. So if you're in these study vibes, I want to encourage you to volunteer with every opportunity you have here. You can use it to still get a bigger position elsewhere. So volunteering works, and sometimes you get 1 or 2 weeks jobs or 3 weeks jobs that you can do and go back to what you're doing. So all those are stages you need to move into the development sector. So I want to end with this statement. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. That's one of the things that one of the quotes by Walt Disney. To get started, you have to quit talking and keep doing. So I'm going to be ending here, and let's drop our questions in the chat box. So this is my contact. Feel free to reach out to me for further questions outside the class. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity. Once more, I'm very grateful. May God bless you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chime. Thank you very much for the great insight you've shared. I can see our emojis. Let's drop some emojis to appreciate him. Yeah. It's a very enlightening session. Talking about opportunities. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Before we take questions, we're going to have the second speaker come up, and then we're going to take all the questions at the end of the session. So please, you can keep your questions. By the time the second speaker is done, we'll now take all the questions together at once. So please do well to note all your questions. And if there's any points that struck you while he was speaking, I know there are quite a number of comments in this that we dropped from the things he said. So you could just also drop them. You can paraphrase, but just let's try those messages so that it remains fresh in our minds. All right. So you can just drop that in the comment section as well. So we're going to be moving on to the next speaker. And we're going to be bringing up Tolu Olushina. So please, let's put our hands together as we welcome her. Yeah, welcome. No, I think your mic is still muted. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much, Toba. Is that Toba? For the introduction. And I want to say a huge, huge thank you to Chimex for that presentation. Wow, it was very packed. very insightful, and also very transparent, because everything he said is 100% facts. I'm testifying to everything he said. It's true, it's valid. And if at any point you felt triggered or personally attacked by anything he said, that means you do need to work on some of those things. It's a huge, like a quick check-in, a self-check-in with yourself. What do I need to work on? So yeah, thank you so, so much, Shimex. Really appreciated that. And a lot of the things he talked about, I have experienced personally myself. If you go through the comment section, you will see myself, Jennifer, the founder of Source Survivors, and a few other people who can relate to some of the things he said. And that's because they're very important. They're very essential for your career journey. Before I go right into like what I have for you guys today, they have already given a brief introduction about myself, so I won't go much into that anymore. My session will be more like a Q&A session, so don't leave yet. If you have any questions, I would have like a very brief talk, maybe 10 minutes max, and then I'll just open the floor for Q&A to myself and to Chimex, right? So yeah, what I have for you today is a bit more personal, right? And I think that's the best way to be transparent and to be able to deliver value, to be able to connect with you guys, to understand what my journey has been. Because when you go on LinkedIn and you look at everyone's profiles, it looks very linear, it looks very calculated, it looks very smooth. What you really don't see is the roller coaster, the ups and downs in between those job roles, the struggles, the self-questioning, the lack of confidence, the imposter syndrome, the rejection emails. Sometimes I don't enjoy going on LinkedIn myself because I'm like, you just feel like a couch potato when you see everyone like, oh, I just got a new job with Meta. They're paying me six figures in dollars. I just got a new job with this. They're flying me out of the country. And you'd be like, what am I doing wrong? And so a lot of people who you see their careers looking very glamorous on LinkedIn, the real truth is behind the scene is not that glamorous. There's this lady I follow on Instagram, very young lady, who is making tremendous waves in her field. She's called Vika Tivu. And I really enjoy following her because she's very, very transparent about, the challenges she's facing. She's achieved a lot in her field. She's won a lot of awards. She gets invited to all the big events. She gets flown out to speak on conferences. But she's also very transparent about the struggles. And that's really what I want to talk about today. My experience and kind of my own journey and the struggles that I faced. But the first thing I want to talk about is because a lot of people here, I imagine like we are all trying to build our careers or we have goals that we want to work towards, is what is the strategy? And that's something that I developed from a very young age. I would say I finished university, that's undergraduate, in my undergraduate degree at the age of 21. And as soon as I finished my undergraduate degree, I said to myself, I'm going to do my master's abroad. Like, I just told myself, I'm going to do my master's degree abroad and it's going to be fully funded. I'm not going to pay a dime of my money to pay my school fees abroad. Something as little as that was my goal. That was my goal, literally. I'm like, I'm not going to pay for it. And that goal is what kept me going. When I created the goal, I started to build a strategy around how I want to achieve it. And that's the first thing I want to talk about today is what is your strategy towards the career goals you have for yourself? And that's if you even have a career goal already. So if you don't have one, you need to ask yourself, what is my goal for my career? Secondly is the strategy to achieve these goals. What is your strategy to achieve these goals? My strategy in getting a fully funded master's degree abroad is to sweep the internet. So I was scrubbing through the internet every day, looking out for opportunities that would meet the goal that I wanted. Any opportunity that would say, oh, you can get admission, but you're going to pay 20,000 in school fees. I just put it by the side. I'm like, this is not for me. So I was looking out for any fully funded opportunity, you name it, any scholarship out there, I already applied to it. I applied to Chevening, I applied to MasterCard, I applied to Mandela, Washington. Just think about it. If you think about it, I've been there. I applied to every single thing. And what Chimex mentioned about rejection is very important because rejections can be very distracting. And I call them distractions because that's just what they are. You apply to the first thing, you get a rejection email, you feel terrible. You feel like these people did not see the effort that I put into this, did not see the time and the resources that went into this, my passion. Did you not see my CV? Did you not see the things I've accomplished? Yes, they saw it, okay, but they still rejected you all the same. Suck it up and keep it moving. You apply once, you apply 2 times, you apply 3 times. I applied to maybe more than 50 scholarships in 1 year. Next year, we go again until I eventually got a scholarship that gave me what I wanted. And I got to the UK, right? And that's how I achieved the goal of getting my fully funded scholarship in the UK. And when I get to the UK, I have, of course, more goals for my life. I want to get a certain kind of job. I want to get a certain kind of salary. I want to work in a certain kind of sector. And if that's where you are currently in your career, you're looking at certain kinds of jobs you want to work on. My question to you is, what is your strategy? What is your goal, right? Are you aiming for a certain type of salary? Are you aiming for 6 figures? It's valid. There's absolutely no goal that's invalid. If you're aiming for 6 figure salary in US dollars or in pounds, it's 100% valid. If people are earning it, you can earn it too. It's a valid goal. The second thing is if you're looking for, it could be like your goal is, oh, I want to work in a certain field. For me, I told myself I want to be working in the field of climate change. And thankfully it aligned with my career. So I went for it. And I looked at all the requirements, all the experiences of job ads that say, oh, climate specialist, climate analyst. They'll say, oh, you should have a experience working on Paris alignment, for example, Paris Agreement, or experience with sustainability. Thankfully, I volunteered in SustSurvive back in 2017, 2018, and I still volunteer with SustSurvive every day. I'm always a SustSurvivor. So I had built these experiences over the years. This is a plug for you to volunteer with SustSurvive, okay? And I built all of these experiences. And when I look through things that I want to achieve, they say you must have this experience. I didn't know anything about Paris Agreement. I went and read up about it. And I said, oh, now I have the knowledge of Paris Agreement. I'll apply for the job I want. And I applied the first time, I didn't get it. I applied the second time, I didn't get it. You apply 3 times, 4 times, 20 times, 50 times until you get what you want. You have to be very, very, very persistent. And you can only be persistent when you know the goal that you're working towards. You have to know what you're working towards. Otherwise, the first rejection, you'll just be disappointed and you will walk away. That's just it. You have to motivate yourself. If you're the type of person that you need to watch YouTube videos to motivate yourself, watch your YouTube videos. If you need your friends to support you, talk to your friends. If you need to sit yourself down. I'm the type of person I will sit myself down, look in the mirror and say, so give yourself brain. And that's how I motivate myself. So you have to find what works for you. Stick to your strategy, whether it's a salary you're aiming for, whether it's a particular type of job or a particular field you're aiming for. Stick to whether it's a particular country, you want to work in Saudi Arabia just because they don't pay taxes in Saudi Arabia. That's absolutely fine. Then stick to your goal and create a strategy around that. And I've kind of chipped in my personal experience here and there. So you can also, so I can be more transparent with you because it's not everything about someone's journey that you can learn about them online. You're not going to go, if you go to my LinkedIn, you will not hear about any of these experiences on my LinkedIn. Go to any of my social medias, you're not going to find any of this information. And that is what the information that myself and Chimex are giving you, information that based on our experiences, based on what we have seen, what we have felt, what we have gone through. The last thing I want to say is that when you eventually get the opportunity you've been waiting for, say you eventually get invited to an interview for the job that you want, make sure that you're very prepared because that can be the most important thing. That can be the deciding factor. When you've worked all these years, when you've put together your strategy, when you've worked towards your goal, you're now at the turning point and you're unable to deliver. It can be very, very, very discouraging. And for example, if you're interviewing in front of a panel, you don't know how to communicate the things that you've been reading about. You don't know how to talk about them. the panel is not going to say, oh, she actually knows it, but she just doesn't know how to talk about it, so we'll just give her the job. Absolutely not. Sometimes you find people who do interviews, they don't know anything about Jack, okay? But they can talk well. They know how to communicate, they know how to influence, they know how to motivate people with their conversation and their speech. And they will get the job. And you sit down there looking like, what did I do wrong? What you did wrong is that you did not prepare the skills that you needed to deliver. So make sure you finish well. People that watch football know this. I don't watch football a lot, but the little I know about football, you can have a good midfielder that will dribble the ball and do all the passes, and he passes it to the attacker, and they don't finish it well. It's a waste of effort. It's a waste of effort. You don't want to be that person that doesn't finish well. So make sure you finish strong by building the skills you need to deliver. And for me, like, one of my major drawbacks was I'm a very shy person. And maybe it's something with our culture too. We're not encouraged to speak up. We're not encouraged to talk about, our expertise, to share what we know. We're not encouraged to be creative. When you come to the Western world, they want to know what's in your head. They don't want you to regurgitate what you read. They don't want you to repeat what you've heard. They will ask you questions that will test your mind. They want to see how you think. They want to see how you communicate. They want to see how you solve problems. So make sure you build those skills and build your knowledge. The last thing I want to say to you, and this is literally the last point I'm going to raise, is to breathe. Like, it's very important. Remember to make out time to, when you're doing all this running around, make out time for yourself, relax, take a deep breath, because you don't want to put all this pressure on yourself and then high blood pressure or anxiety or your mental health is in shambles. You really need to prioritize yourself. It's very important. And that's something that I'm making out time for. I'm going to quickly plug in Vanessa. Vanessa is a counselor who I met through Saucy Vibes goal setting session. I've been working with her since the beginning of the year. Super, super helpful. She's helped me with my communication. I'm here today and I can talk to you and address you because I was able to work with someone who could help me build the skills that I needed. So if you find out the things that you're lacking in, or the skills that you need to build on, identify specialists who can help you, identify areas who can help you. So Vanessa is someone who helps me build my assertiveness and how I can communicate. Awesome. So I'm going to stop here. I don't want to go on for too long because I know, like, we've been receiving a lot of information today, and I will just open the floor for questions to myself and to Chimex. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tilly. Yeah, so I think we need to also reach out to Vanessa. Maybe she's able to accommodate some of us, so that we can also all learn from this. I know I've seen Jennifer post about you before, that she's a coach, and now that you're saying it again, it means she's doing a great job. So Anna, let's go and meet our new coach. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the session. It was quite enlightening. So if you have your questions, this is the time to bring them up. So let's see those hands. Let's see those hands. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise a hand. Okay, so I can see a question here that has been attended to. Okay, well, Maiwa Shobo said, please, are there red flags when it comes to applying to these organizations? And then, yeah, also responded that if you are asked to pay for anything during the recruitment process, yeah. And then yes, so I don't know if you want to say anything about that. Probably there were things that you also came across, maybe in your experience, that was fishy. So maybe you could just share an experience regarding that.
Can I talk?
Yes, please.
Okay. So there are some of these websites for applications that come very fishy, and most people fall for it. Let me give you an example. The people can just develop websites and make it look like the WHO website, and then people will apply and apply. They are stealing all your data and all that by applying for these places, and it's actually a red flag. It's actually a red flag, and they keep telling you pass through the next page. You'll be happy. You will be telling people, I think I'm in the closing stage of getting a job with WHO. Till they come to a point where they can tell you that you need to pay so amount so that they can do security checks to verify the documents you have submitted. At that point, that is where they want to scam you. So most organizations that work will never collect a dime from you yet at any stage of your application. And sometimes before you apply, cybersecurity is a course on its own and all these things. You need to look at websites very well. Websites can be very, very fishy. Like UN website is un.org, but don't be surprised that you can see un.org.ng. They make it look so much alike. Even when you get a mail, look at the sender of that mail. When the sender of that mail, the email is not clear and it's so long, it's a phishing mail. It's a phishing mail. So that is a very, very red flag when applying for some of these jobs. Then another red flag is that when somebody is asking you that they will help you get the job and ask you to pay money or do something, is a lie. Is a lie. There's a saying that person will go help you, no go stress you. And that thing not true. Person will go stress you, no go help you, no go stress you. Provided you do the right thing at the right time. Then for the applicants, one of the red flags that I noticed that applicants have is, like I said earlier, not following instructions, having scattered CV. And then another thing is that these days, organizations don't have time to read plenty CVs. There are ATS software, they call ATS tracker that tracks CVs. So because there are thousands of CVs coming in, this software go into just search for keywords. So you want to ensure that in the job description, it's aligned with some of the keywords in your CV. It's very, very, very important. And then as things are changing, because of data privacy, a lot of things have started changing. Like now, people no longer write their full address on CVs because they can be attacked or kidnapped because of it. So you see people just writing Lagos, Nigeria as address. That is where we are going to now. So because your data needs to be protected, people don't used to write references in full again. They now write available on request so that you don't expose the contact of your potential influencers or managers or friends. It's a very, very, very big risk now. Then people don't put whether they are married or not because some organizations won't even take you when they hear that you are married. A lot of some women are victimized in some organizations in Nigeria. So you need to be very, very careful. So you don't really need to put whether you are married or not, unless you are asked. If you are not asked, don't say more than you know. You don't really need to put your religion because all these things are distractions in applications. I don't know if I need justice to that question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chime. Thank you very much. That's very, very important. Paying, I mean, I've never heard of it actually. I've never heard of it. And the .ng thing was actually quite funny because it's true. A lot of people are trying to mimic these pages, and if one is not careful, you just fall victim of some of these things. So there's another question. Yeah, the recording will be made available. So another question here says, thank you for your response. Say, can one realistically get into the sector through volunteering? Can one realistically get into the sector through volunteering? I don't know if Tolu is there. Maybe you might want to respond to this. Your mic is muted.
Thank you. I usually need the host to unmute me before I can talk, but yeah. Yeah, to your question about can you realistically get into the sector through volunteering? I would say yes. Because volunteering counts towards, the knowledge or the experiences that you build. In fact, my first experience on anything climate change related or sustainability was based on my volunteering experience with SourceVibes. I studied civil engineering in school. A lot of the stuff I learned in school was not very much related to sustainability. I worked in a firm, an engineering firm for a while. The first job that I got in an international NGO was really, a lot of it was based on not just my educational background, but on the volunteering work that I did with SourceVibes, because SourceVibes really opened my eyes a lot to topics like the SDGs, environmental awareness, and things like that. It helps to build your knowledge, it helps to build your language around, these key issues. So I would say that yes, volunteering plays a huge, huge, huge role because you get access to a lot of like information that you ordinarily cannot get from your job or from your educational background. But I'm gonna be realistic because we know like we're human beings, we need to survive, you need a salary to earn, to pay your rent or whatever. You can combine your volunteering with your 9 to 5. So SourceVibes is good, and I keep saying SourceVibes because SourceVibes really is, you can SourceVibes put their events in such a way that you can accommodate it with your 9 to 5. There were not any events that were in the evenings. They were usually weekends. So on like a Saturday afternoon, we can go down to a school and raise awareness on the SDGs, so you can kind of combine that with your 9 to 5. It takes a lot of effort, but like I said before, it's really about your persistence and your determination to achieve your goal. If you know that you want to work in a certain sector and your 9 to 5 does not necessarily complement your experience, your educational background does not complement your experience, the best way to get your experience is to volunteer with an organization that can get you the experience you want. So absolutely, volunteer as much as you can. Volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. And just one quick thing. A huge shout out to Annie. He's currently in the session. Annie and I used to volunteer in SourceVibes back in 2018. Based on his experience volunteering, Annie is coming to the US. I'm so sorry, Annie, if you haven't broken that news yet. He's going to come to the US to continue his education because he built his experience of volunteering. So it's not just about it's not just about saying, oh, this is how it is, but people are actually getting useful insights and are getting access to the opportunities they want through volunteering. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Tolu.
Hello, can I add to that?
Okay, yes, please go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to say that volunteering is actually the place where you pay the price for where you're going to. I actually worked when I was working at University of Nigeria in the campus. I worked there for 4 years without pay. 4 good years. I was going to work 8 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I come back 8 p.m., 9 p.m. in the night. And it was the price I had to pay because it was all the experiences that I got there that now helped me to get into the development sector. So, and I'm still volunteering till date. I volunteer for an organization in the UK called Face Suits. Whenever they have a project in Nigeria, I support it financially, working fee, and all that. And anywhere I need any reference letter from them, they give it to me like ASAP. So, for those who are actually in the entry level, don't just let there not be a point in your life where your CV from so time to so time you don't do anything. It is an error. Because that's the best time to volunteer. And in volunteering, you can walk up to the organization and say, can I volunteer with you? The worst answer you can get is no. and you get a lot of yes. When I started volunteering, the time I did, I volunteered 4 years without pay. I just walked up to the organization boss and told him, sir, I want to work here and you don't need to pay me. The man was surprised. Is it possible for people to agree to work without pay? And in some organizations, from that volunteering, if they get any position that is paid, the first that is considered. Then, secondly, United Nations have opportunity for volunteers. Their website is unv.org. unv.org. They have a lot of volunteering opportunities where you work for free or for a little stipend. You can take advantage of it to get more volunteering experience, especially those who are out of work or those who are planning to move into the sector or those who want to get experience for the next level. But like I said, volunteering is the price you pay for the next level. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for that addition, Chime. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a very key word. Volunteering is the price you pay for where you are going to. All right. And yeah, just to add to what they said, indeed, volunteering actually it pays off. And yes, realistically, you can use it to scale up and get better jobs. And I think the most important thing is for us to be able to tell our stories during these interviews, the experiences you've gained, and most importantly, your contributions as well, your contributions. And I think another thing that is helpful is to have figures, up in your head, especially if you're into a space where you've been able to do something and you can measure it in terms of figures. So if it's depending on your field also, if you were able to, let's say, generate a revenue, you might need to have that figure. If you have been able to increase something within the organization, maybe talking about efficiency, maybe you might be able to represent that using percentage, that, okay, this was the situation of things before I joined, and after I joined, through my effort, through the use of my skills, I was able to achieve this. So rather than just saying, oh, I did this and did that, I think employers are also interested in knowing how much you were able to contribute and what you were able to do, during your time there. So I can see Busayo's hand. So please, you can go ahead with your question.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And the speakers, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. The last speaker that spoke, I mean, Ms. Tolu, she said something about having a goal, having a goal. And for me, generally, I find it a bit difficult to generally have a goal that I have in mind to achieve. I tend to think a lot, and I, tend to have this idea of having so many things at hand that I really want to get. And I think this is slowing me down, but I want to ask a question about how do you know that this is the next thing for you to do as a person, and how do you, get, um, okay, how do you know that this is the next thing for you to do, and how do you narrow things down to a particular goal? These are my two questions.
Okay, are you done, Busayo? I think I couldn't hear the last few things you said. Are you there, Busayo, or is this network? Oh, okay. Um, please raise your hand again. I'm trying to find you among. Okay.
All right, please, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, my question is, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know that this is the next thing for you to do as a person? And how do you narrow things down to attain a particular goal and not get carried away by other things that you also you're also looking at? Those are my questions.
Okay, okay. All right, I got that now. So Tolu, would you want to respond to that?
Thank you. That was Busayo, right, who asked the question. It's your question is it's a difficult one to ask. It's a difficult one to answer. Because I know a few people that struggle with this. You know, you have so many creative ideas, so many ideas in your mind. It usually happens with people that are like very creative, more creatively inclined. It's like you want to do so many things. You want to build your startup, you want to feed the hungry, you want to relocate, you want to, there's just so many things you want to do. I don't know what the best answer is for you, and I'm going to be honest with you because I'm not a specialist in goal setting, and I would recommend you find a specialist, preferably a counselor or a career coach or someone who can help you in setting your goal. But what I would tell you is um, sometimes you have to do the hard work of asking yourself the why question, right? And it's valid to have all these goals. Like when I was younger, when I was very young, I used to say, I want to end world poverty. I want to end world hunger, for example. That's a very valid goal. But as I grow up, I realized that I cannot do it by myself. Me, one person like this, I cannot do all of that. But I'll do my little bit in ending hunger. If it's for 10 people, at least I've been able to manage to do that. I think for yourself, you need to ask yourself the why. Okay. As much as you work with a specialist who can help you to um, um, streamline your goals, I think you need to really sit down with yourself. It involves a lot of self-awareness. And I think that's the hardest part of building your career. And a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people don't do this. They just think I get my education, I do what I need to do, I work, and I'm gonna get to where I want to do. A lot of times you need to sit down with yourself, and it's very hard to do that because sometimes Nigeria does not give you breathing space to do that. But you need to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why do I want to build a startup, for example? When you sit down with yourself and ask yourself the why, you realize that a lot of things are just distractions. A lot of things maybe you're just doing it so like, oh, I will show people that I can do it. But it's not coming from you personally. It has to come intrinsically. It has to be something that comes from you organically. And that's the only way you can keep, even when the rejections come, even when it's hard, that's the only way you can keep going. You have to sit down with yourself and decide, this is something I want to work on, and I'll keep going towards it. Because you cannot chase many things and achieve all of them at the same time. You have to be very, very focused. And I can see your comment saying it's hard. It is really hard. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But it's hard. That's just what it is. It's hard, but you have to sit down and do it and work with a specialist. If you sit down with yourself and you're still struggling to do it, sometimes it could be just the way your brain is set up. You just need someone to work with you to kind of clear through the rubble and figure out exactly what you want for yourself. I hope that answers your question. I'll stop there for now.
Good evening, everyone. Apologies, I believe our host was having some technical difficulties. Please, if we still have any questions, we could drop in the comment section, or if we would rather speak, just raise up your hands, please. Thank you. Do we have any more questions for our speakers, please? All right, it seems okay, yes. So it seems we don't have any questions. Any last words from our speakers, please? Uncle Chimex and Tolu, any last words you'd like to share with us, please?
Okay, for me, I want to say, never give up. Nothing in life is easy. Nothing in life is easy. When you see a successful person and you attack that person in the first stage to failure, you don't attack what you want to be like. Always don't attack what you want to be like, or don't attack where you want to go to. And the last thing I want to say is that we should mind what we say on our social media. Employers actually go through social media when they want to employ. All the trash you've been saying can be against you, can be the reason why you've not been employed. So the social media is not just where you go and speak. Recently, a friend of mine was employed in one of the top organizations, and he has to declare on his social media handle. Only security check took 3 months. Yeah, they checked everything about all you post on social media. And also, you need to be very careful what you post on social media. It can affect your career. Thank you very much. And feel free to reach out to me for further questions or advice. I'll be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uncle Chimex. Tolu, any last words for us, please?
I think, yeah, I would just want to say exactly what Chimek said. I know it's very hard, but stay true, stay persistent, stay strong. And sometimes you cannot do it on your own. Make sure you reach out to your support system, whether that be friends, whether that be people who have gone ahead of you, people who have achieved the things that you want to achieve. Always reach out. Don't be scared to do it. The worst thing that will happen is they will ignore you. The best thing that will happen is you get useful insights that will catapult you to the next stage of your career. So absolutely get as much support as you can need to get to the goals that you want for yourself. And on that note, I would say if anyone has any other questions for me outside of this platform, my LinkedIn is my name, as you saw it on the poster. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and ask me your questions. I always respond. I may not respond right away, but I will eventually respond. And yeah, go for your dreams. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. You can do it, absolutely. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for the beautiful presentation, Chimex and Tolu. It was wonderful having this over an hour, 30 minutes of insightful conversations that are really true to home. We heard from, first rate experiences from people who have actually gotten there, gotten their ideal jobs, gotten, experiences through persevering and through volunteering and through just pushing forward, and like Chimek said, never giving up. So thank you everyone. I would just like us to, if we can, unmute ourselves and say thank you to our speakers. It was really beautiful having everybody here. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for taking our time to listen to us. We'd just like to say thank you to our speakers and appreciate them. So in the comment section, if you're too shy to speak, or you could just unmute yourself and speak, please. So that's all from us today. Thank you everyone, and do have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much, our speakers.
Thank you all for your time. Have a good day. Pictures.